And I've been working in the New York City Department of Education for over 27 years. And I'm now a consultant also for the New York State Education Department, and which, like he said, the Regents is very important in New York State. Teachers will not teach LGBT history, but they will teach what's in their examination. Okay? And in New York State, I have a big mouth. Okay? And I have the voice, sometimes the only voice, but with some support of Governor Cuomo's team members that we were able to secure. And it was a big fight to include in the New York State that Common Core word, a social studies framework, to include LGBT history. Okay? But we had to do that. Also, you have to change the textbooks. And I have another job too. So I'm really retired, but I'm really on overload. And I work as a consultant for Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, which specifically hired me, okay, because, I mean, usually I get hired because they tell me, oh, he got hired because he was a Latino. And I always get that, you know, he got promoted because he's a Latino. This is the first time that I got hired because I was LGBT. It took after my retirement to recognize that, which was awesome, you know. And they specifically, and that textbook company is going, and there are changes. And right now we just have completed our middle school social studies textbook, which will include all the topics that are in there. Not only that, but it's included so that we will have topics that are not just there, but just as we talk about World War II, what happened to the LGBT population. In the 1920s, what happened to the LGBT population. In the 1950s, when they talk about the McCarthy scare in every textbook, it's going to include the Lavender Scare that happened with the LGBT community. So it's an inclusion part that hopefully we're going to start with the middle school book and then the high school book. But the Regents now is going to be including in the future LGBT questions. Even so, in Common Core too, because we're going to have song lyrics for those art people, okay? We included song lyrics to be included that are social studies related, included in the social studies U.S. history exam. So I am very proud. I'm very proud to have actually met, because I had lived in Jackson Heights prior, so I never actually met Danny Drum, so I was very proud when my supervisor says, "You're going to meet Danny Drum." I said, "Awesome." You know? I said, "I hope he likes me," but I think the first time we met, we clicked. So I'm very proud. And that he's a member also of our New York City Social Studies Supervisors Association, which we had honored him earlier this year, which was very proud. And they just love his story and his background. And I just hope you like mine. And as you do, but thank you very much.
Maybe one of those songs should be, "I'm happy, I'm carefree, and I'm gay." People my age will know what song I'm talking about. You don't hear it much anymore, but it's out there, Nelson. And, all right, my next honoree is someone who I'm really proud to be able to honor and to acknowledge. And we became familiar with each other through politics many years ago when Amit Baga worked for a congressperson. And I'm even more proud that when I went to the recent Gapidney dinner, it was actually the national organization for gay Asian Pacific Islanders, that I saw a video with his mother in it and saying, "Hey, it's okay to be gay," and doing the Asian Pacific Islander outreach like PFLAG has done previously. And so, and then Ahmed and I have always been in contact with each other, and I have to say this much. The de Blasio administration has picked wonderful, wonderful LGBT people to work in their administration. It is really true. And I am so happy to know so many of them as activist groups, people who got involved in the community, and Amit is one of those people. And so Amit serves as the Deputy Commissioner of External Affairs at the New York City Department of Consumer Affairs. In his role, he oversees the agency's city, state, and federal legislative efforts and advocacy. He manages industry, nonprofit, and community engagement efforts, and he also leads the agency's intergovernmental and issue-based organizing work. Amit's nearly decade-long policy, communications, and campaign experience working on issues as diverse as immigration, hunger, poverty, workers' rights, health care, predatory lending, consumer protection, foreign affairs, and LGBT rights at both the federal and local levels has been largely informed by his experience as a native outer-borough New Yorker. Boy, by the way, he knows so much stuff. It's amazing. When I try to pick his brain, he's got an answer for everything. So, I don't know how you memorize all those laws and everything. Born in the Bronx to immigrant parents who were refugees of the 1947 partition of India, Amit is a proud product of New York City's public schools, and he credits the unique opportunities provided to him and his family by the city as a source of his dedication to serving its people. Upon initially joining the de Blasio administration, Amit led the appointments of several agency heads, including Queen's very own Cynthia Lopez and Tom Finkelpearl, the commissioners of the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment and the Department of Cultural Affairs, and Cynthia Lopez is a constituent of mine as well. That's why I just love that administration. That's a Blasio guy. He's doing a good job. He has also devised and executed first-of-their-kind city outreach campaigns around paid sick leave, the earned income tax credit, and the rights of nail salon workers, which has a big effect in a district like mine, particularly in the Nepali community as well. He has advocated fiercely for the passage of laws to protect New Yorkers from predatory lending in the used car industry, and he has also led the administration's efforts on the implementation of new laws, such as that which requires employers in New York City to provide pre-tax transit benefits to their employees. Prior to working for the city, Amit spent many years in Washington, D.C., where he worked both in the nonprofit and congressional fields. He provided key programmatic and communications support to Share Our Strength, No Kid Hungry, which executes long-term state-based campaigns to end childhood hunger. And he also served as an aide to a member of Congress representing Queens and Brooklyn, a role that he, in fact, first took on right here in Kew Gardens. During his time in the House, Amit closed more than 1,000 immigration cases on behalf of borough residents from Glendale to Glen Oaks and came to intimately know and love the borough's many neighborhoods, from Forest Hills to Fresh Meadows. In addition to successfully securing the return of a Queens man of Jewish heritage imprisoned in Iran, Amit also worked to reunite several asylum-seeking families and prevented many New Yorkers whose cases had simply been forgotten in our country's arcane immigration system from being denied benefits to which they were entitled, and in some cases even from being deported. I guess you know why I like Amit, right? He's approached all of his work with an unwavering commitment to service and also with pride. Amit has always been proud of his identity as a queer Desi New Yorker, coming out at 14. That I did not know. Was it about 3 years ago or something? He was a founding member of his high school's Gay Straight Alliance and has been a fierce advocate for equality and particularly representation ever since. For Amit, being queer, being a New Yorker, being a public servant, and being an embarrassingly big fan of vintage U2, and most importantly, being South Asian, are not mutually exclusive. Despite connected to his Punjabi, Hindu, and Sikh heritages, Amit believes that telling his story is the most effective method by which to dispel false notions, increase acceptance, and break down barriers. He is deeply honored to have appeared with his parents in the recent LGBTQ Acceptance and Awareness Hindi language campaign video for the National Queer Asian Pacific Islander Alliance and the Asian Pride Project. Amit has also been a proud member of the South Asian Lesbian and Gay Association of New York for many years and draws from his experiences living on the margins of different communities to inform and support his work for the people of the city of New York. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Amit Bhaga and his family is here too. Let's give them a round of applause. Family, stand up so we can see who you are. Thank you for being here with us as well.